Hit it or quit it.
Shit. Hit it or quit it? Oh, God. We live?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, God. So embarrassing. What's up, Redwater?
We're
Happy
live.
Friday.
By the way, these embarrassing moments are intentional if you haven't noticed.
Yeah. I'm always embarrassed, bro. It just happens. I don't know why. Such a
Bashful.
goofball.
Yeah.
So sad. But happy Friday.
Yes. Happy Friday, everyone.
What up? What up?
Redwater, we see you there. And Redwater is going to be first because Redwater paid to skip the queue. Thank you for that. We appreciate your support and coming back
Always.
again. Can't wait to hear what you've got.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I've heard this. Is it me by him and Rary?
Is it me? Just kidding. I don't know yet.
It's a finished release? What?
Oh, shit.
Didn't
they say they were working on something?
Oh, fuck. It's part of it.
Whoa, your audio just went real weird.
Sorry. Wait, what?
Maybe your audio went real weird for a second.
Oh, really? Why? Was I clipping?
Maybe it is some sort of gating thing. Anyways,
okay. I screamed. I probably clipped it, but anyways,
it was like shh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I have no idea what happened then.
Strange,
but I'm excited.
Anyways, yeah, it looks like we got a couple folks on right now. If you've been here before, you know the drill, but if you haven't, we are FastTrack Feedback Fridays. We give feedback on your music in a constructive and detailed way as much as we can. We've got just a couple in the queue right now, just 2. We'll probably get to about 5 today ahead of our 7:30 Central cutoff. So we've got a little bit of time. And yeah, if you want to submit your track, link is on the overlay there or potentially in the chat if my co-host hits the button.
Oh, did it not go through?
Yeah, now it did.
Okay, my bad.
And then we got the tip link there. So if you want to skip the queue and be first, which Mr. Redwater here has done.
Jeez, be like Redwater. We love Redwater.
Be like Redwater. Support the cause. And we hope that we can give you good feedback that's super helpful. So that's where we're at. Also, might as well just put the link in the chat. We do feedback here, but we also are building a web platform to help you get feedback from other professionals in the music industry. So people that can help you with songwriting, mixing, mastering, artwork, promotion, whatever every part of the music creation process, and some nice little workflow amenities in a platform. That's there at FastTrack.studio. Link is in the chat. We are accepting beta signups. So if you want to be one of the first users to actually get in and try it out, help us build it, request features, that kind of stuff, then please feel free to sign up at FastTrack.studio. Otherwise, if you submit a track, you can also hit a little checkbox to sign up there. But yeah, that's the spiel.
All points, all signs point to submit your tracks, y'all.
Yes.
And we want to hear it. But yeah, so like we said, first person is Redwater. Appreciate you. Is it me? Finished release. Let's see. There's a meaningful, heartfelt song curated by me and Rary. This instrumental is produced by the GOAT Aiden MC Lovin. Shout out Aiden HAC. It's a very melodic tune, classic. I wouldn't expect anything less than Rary and Redwater doing melodic or country, but we'll see. McLovin's album, It's a Big, Big World, is available on Apple Music as of now. Spotify should release at midnight. That's what I was waiting for. I don't know if the DistroKid stuff just... maybe that's what he said in the chat, but
wait a second. I don't think it's McLovin. I think it's MC Lovin.
Either one, bro. Like, we know. His fucking profile... yeah, his profile picture was fucking McLovin from... what is it? Superbad?
Yeah.
Well, it's
the movie, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty excited for this. I think I clicked the pre-save link or something, or the DistroKid link today, and it was pre-save only for some reason, but it's supposed to be released. So MC Lovin, I don't know what's happening. Hopefully it gets released properly. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I've heard a lot of good things about McLovin's stuff. And yeah, you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, Is It Me? Featuring Rary. Prod by McLovin. 3, 2, 1. Clean production off the get-go.
How is it possible to be with you? Is it possible we make it through? Give me one more chance to make it true. For me, with everything I do, girl, it's not enough for you. How can it be that your love is not free? I know it's not enough for two. Is it me or is it you? Swear I don't know what to do. You just keep on denying it like messed up, okay, what's new? I messed up, okay,
Got that
what's
pop punk voice. It's great.
On the interstate, I've been traveling alone. No fake friends,
Nice
always
background
calling on
vocals.
my phone. Everything I gave you, you still wanted more. Oh no, I can't believe you wanted more. No, no, everything I do is such a bore. No, no, every day you make my heart sore. Back and forth with our words while we go to war. Is it me or is it you? Swear I don't know what to do. You just keep on denying and lying what's true. Swear I've had enough of you. I wish I could go back to the time when I wasn't crying and trying to bullshit through. But I guess that it's over, like I don't even know her. I messed up, okay, what's new? Is it me? Is it you? Swear I don't know what to do. You just keep denying and lying what's true. Swear I've had enough
That's
of
good.
you. Wish I could go back to the time where I wasn't crying and trying to push it through. But I guess it's over and I don't even know her. I messed up, okay, what's new? Is it me or is it you? Swear I don't know what to do. You just keep on denying and lying what's true. Swear I've had enough of you. I wish I could go back to the time when I wasn't crying and trying to bullshit through. But I guess that it's over, like I don't even know her. I messed up, okay, what's new?
Oh, abrupt ending
Nice.
there.
A little abrupt ending, but yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. I like the drums on that. It
I
sounds
was
like
gonna say, so I mean, I was gonna ask at the end, but did those pop out to you as being like real or fake, or do you have any thoughts on that?
uh they were different for sure, but I liked them. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sounded like real drums, but I could tell that they were probably programmed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's sort of what I was thinking too. But it was like I only noticed that like halfway through, and I was like just focusing on it
Yeah.
and trying to figure it out. But I think they sounded right for the track and the context, and they sounded in line with like other stuff in this genre that does really well that's out there.
Yep.
It wasn't like too artificial or anything. It sounded like real enough but well produced.
Yeah. I did not know. This is like straight up pop almost like I did not know that you guys were like on that. Like that's
Yeah,
cool. Very versatile artists.
super.
I haven't got to listen to much of MC Levin's stuff outside of HHC, so I'm
Outside of super
excited.
bad.
Yeah, I said it super bad, so I'm excited for his album. And Redwater, I already know you do like a bunch of different shit, and it's really cool. So yeah, I think you guys shined here, did your thing. But what do you have for vibes? First impressions, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, vibes overall. I mean, I think that this comes across as being very well produced and
Hmm.
written. Like it's it's very aware of the style that it's trying to go for, the styles potentially.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I think it sounds pretty professional. And like really, my only gripes are more on the maybe mixing or mastering a little bit, like nothing serious,
Hmm.
and that's sort of separate from production a little bit.
Hmm.
But
Mixed
just some
by
of the
Redwater, by the way. Go in, bro. He's here.
well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's I guess it's actionable feedback, but
Hey.
um, we can go into it more in detail. But there's just a little bit of slight amount of crowding and harshness in the high mids and
Mm.
highs. But other than that, I think
He
things feel pretty well balanced overall.
Yeah, he does like his sparkly mixes, but
Yeah,
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, but this is a very melodic, very earwormy. Is it me? Is it
it's in there. Yeah,
you? Yeah, it's a very nice. I think both of these guys have an ear for those catchy melodies, and it's on display here.
totally.
Good stuff. Another heartbroken song for the boys back home. Unfortunately, shout out boys. But yeah, I think it was cool. Very well put together. Very satisfying to the ear in terms of melodic and harmonic stuff. Background vocals, I think, all set pretty well too. Um, and yeah, it was cool. My overall vibes, I'm probably at probably like 80 between green and yellow. What about you?
Yeah, I think for vibes, I would even say like 84.
84.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like very well positioned and put together. Like that's the part I think that is infectious about it. And that's
Of course, Redwater.
due to like the content also, but I think it's, yeah, it's got good vibes.
Yeah, what you got for content?
Yeah, and then for content, I mean, I think this is like probably the sweet spot, like structure wise and timing wise for this kind of track. It's 2:48 and it carries you through. The structure all makes sense. There's no verses that feel like they go too long. Um, it's got a great groove that carries you throughout. You know, it feels like it's at the right tempo, and some great vocal performances in there.
Oh
Some
yeah,
great,
come to
uh,
expect that from Redwater.
yeah. Like I think the writing all feels very cohesive, and it feels like it blends a little bit of a few different genres. And yeah, I think the structure is exactly what it needs to be here, and the content too. The sounds also like good sound choices.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, very crisp guitar playing here. I don't know if anybody's playing guitar, but whatever it is, it sounds good. Every like instrumentation sounds pretty clean. Yeah, vocal performances I think are pretty damn good. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's a little the like if I had to give some critique, it's like I've heard love songs like this before, and I just lately I've just been appreciating just straight up unique vocals. I always talk about this like unique lyrical content stuff that makes me go like, wait, what? What did they go through, or what was weird? So it sounds maybe just on the like generic poppy side to me, as I would say, like critique wise. I think what really popped out to me was melodies and the kind of beautiful harmonies that you guys are laying down. Also, just like the timbre of the voices. I know Josh talked about a lot of air on or breath, perhaps on Rary's vocal, um, which might be at some point clashing. But I actually really like that kind of timbre for his voice. I think it sounds really cool. Redwater, just a big fan of his voice in general. And he goes really high. I wanted to turn on my oh shit, my piano's on now. Fuck, did he hit like a high B
He
or
ain't got perfect pitch.
did not have perfect pitch?
A high B.
But yeah, it sounds. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you hit like a high B, and it just sounds fucking
I
amazing.
think it was a high H.
High H, damn, bro, higher than that, that's crazy. But yeah, as like one singer to another, I'm just like um almost envious. I appreciate a very good singer like that.
Yeah.
Um, I think you sound awesome. So yeah, performance wise, I think it's cool, but lyrically maybe just a little poppy. But you know, that's a big audience. Like I'm just a
Yep.
weirdo with my lyrics, as Redwater probably knows. With just some of the HAC stuff, I do some weird stuff. Uh, but anyways, Dev kept it mainstream, simple, generic pop, sad boy type beat. Yeah, yeah, I get it, and I think it works really well. And it makes me excited to listen to the rest of this project. So overall content, I think it's yeah pretty dang good. Let's see, I think it probably is at like a 90 between green and yellow. I think it's pretty good. Um, almost good to go. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in response to a couple of those things, like I mean, I definitely think that the vocal timbres work really well. I think that's partly it's partly influenced by the mixing, obviously, but
Hmm.
I think it's most of that comes down to like, the person and their vocal cords.
Yeah.
And I think getting that is just rare, and it's like you have something very valuable and special to work with when you have that. So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Both you guys.
And yeah, I can go more, I guess, into the mixing side after this, but um, I guess lyrically, like I could see that too. I like interesting lyrics a lot.
I like weird lyrics.
Yeah,
I,
interesting,
I
but
really do. It's just like shit. Like what? Like what did?
yeah, no, I
I
totally
love when they
agree.
do that. Yeah.
I think for this kind of thing, like you can sometimes have that, but also
Thank you for the
like
follow, Doc. Of hey, sorry.
I was sort of thinking there are certain kinds of songs where I think the lyrics are actually like less important almost, or
Yeah,
certain
and I think this
genres.
is kind of there too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like if you were to say something kind of weird, I don't know if I would notice it, just because there's a lot of like long, sort of drawn out syllables and phrases. It's sort of
Yeah.
all like soaring. Like I wouldn't necessarily get a whole lot more out of that.
Yeah,
I don't know,
right
and
away.
it might snap me out of like the sort of smoothness or the vibe of
That's
the
true.
song.
That's very true. I was
So I don't
thinking
know. I
about that.
like both, but for this, I like. I didn't even hear a lot of the lyrics. Honestly, I was just like enjoying like the sound of the harmonies and like
Yep.
the groove and all that stuff. So
Yep.
it varies, but yeah, I think content. I would also give this a 90.
There you go. Pretty damn fucking good. And
Yeah.
Doc of Hey, if you want to submit, we put the link in the chat. Um, thank you for the follow. Production, what do you got?
Um. Yeah, and then production. I guess the main thing I was hearing, kind of from the beginning, actually, was uh you're totally right that it's a style right now and it sounds good when a vocal has really crisp high end. It makes things
Mhm.
sound high fidelity and modern, and
Sparkly.
it works well when you have like moderately used auto tune or pitch correction, which you seem to have here.
Mm.
uh, However, it definitely is a balance still, because imagine if you were to go to the extreme, right? Like if you were to add 10 dB more of like high boost, you'd start to find that it doesn't sound good anymore,
Hmm.
right? And so this isn't an extreme as that, but I think it's like subtly, if you were to compare against stuff that's similar, you'd probably find that those have a little bit, well, one, a little bit more space to breathe in terms of like the vocal and the frequencies that tail off from it, and especially that tail off from a reverb, aren't masked or impeded by other like stuff happening in that range too much, because that makes this kind of track just feel so much more open, and it actually can make the high end feel like bigger rather than being sort of squeezed and crowded. If there's a lot of stuff that's happening up there, a lot of tracks, a lot of harmonies that may be at too much the same volume staging, or just are too loud, like summed together basically. So it's like really an art trying to make a full sounding track that also doesn't have too many parts, especially when those parts conflict and create a busyness in any given frequency range, which is just like the basis of mixing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think probably you could benefit from like remove. I really like the vocal harmonies, so I wouldn't want to like get rid of those at all, any of them really. But maybe like turning them down a little bit, or tapering them off on the highs a little bit. That
Yeah.
also it's actually a good tip generally for making backing vocals sound like they're on
In the
like
background.
behind the main singer on the stage sort of.
Hmm.
The further that sounds are away from you, generally the high end starts to tail off a little bit. So that could be helpful. Or if you don't want to make them sound too distant, you can also turn them down, and then there will be less high end already, but they'll still come through, but they just won't have as much body. So it's like whichever way you want to go. Do you want those backing vocals to be sort of less heavy, meaning that they have less low end, but they still come through clear, but don't conflict as much? Just turn them down. If you want them to still be very present, but just not like crowding up the high mids, then just turn the high end down a little bit on them. So
Hmm.
there's a couple of options and ways to do it. But aside from that, maybe there's a little bit like you could maybe go a little bit more subtle on the compression on the lead vocals, uh, just because to me like that's also something that generates sometimes like crowded or really boxed out high end. So if you go just a teeny bit lighter on that, or you do some sort of parallel compression, so you're getting some of the dynamics, but also getting them to feel like thick and beefy, then you might have less of that squashing of the high mids, which makes it even more crowded up there. So I think that's my main tips. And it's hard to hear what else might be crowding in that area, but I would just go through your buses and or tracks and see what. Well, first go to your important tracks, see like where are their main frequencies, and then go to the other ones, see what's clashing, and just try muting stuff. Try like muting one group of tracks or one track and see like, oh, holy crap, I can hear so much more detail and nuance in the lead vocal now, and I can actually hear the reverb tail and it sounds airy up there. And then you can make decisions about what to do with that track, how to EQ it or turn it down, or just maybe it's not needed at all. So yeah, that's kind of some ideas. Hopefully that are helpful with that. But that's really my main thing. I think like again, drum sounds are great. They fit in with this well. The harmonies are awesome. Like everything I think is there that needs to be. It's just like really refining frequency wise, and sometimes that does mean like removing extraneous tracks, superfluous tracks, and just making sure it's super tight and clean and nothing's like overdone at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was long winded. You got anything else?
Nah, man, I appreciate that because I also learn stuff when you have explanations like that. So yeah, I agree with Josh's analysis. Pretty much completely. Um, yeah, you just had to figure out which vocal, in this case of the vocal stack, which one is the most important for you to get that clarity and all those that breathiness and texture. And then just it's really kind of a subtractive process, right? Like if you want that one to be the most, then you have to subtract the others, not necessarily boost it. But yeah, I don't think I can add much. I just did want to also shout out McLovin's production on it in terms of the beat. Yeah, I think everything that's added supplements the vocals, which I think carry the song very well. Um, Maybe it's a little poppy as well, but hey, that's the genre that they're going for, and maybe I'm just jaded from pop, but I think it sounds pretty enjoyable to listen to actually. And the drums, it's like that's like a little nice weird flavor that's I didn't really expect, but I like, so that's cool. But yeah, overall production, I have a score probably around 80, 85 between green and yellow. What about you?
1985.
Happy
Um,
spring scene.
yeah. Well, one thing I just remembered. Also, you don't necessarily like with the main backing vocals. It might be worth doing one of the things I mentioned before, but also you can make them sort of dynamic with each other, or like sort of make them share resources almost. And what I mean by that is there's obviously a certain amount of headroom that you have going through individual tracks in a DAW. If you bust things together, that's like a good way of sort of summing them into an individual like output level, so
Mhm.
they don't overwhelm like the track output or the master output. But also, if you're involving like a compressor in that equation, then what's going to happen, and this is even similar to side chaining, so you could do some sort of light side chain as well if you wanted to, either way between the backing vocals and the lead vocal. But if they go into the same compressor, the backing vocals and the lead vocals will trigger that compressor. And so when the lead comes in with those backing vocals, there will be more compression, and sometimes that can really glue those tracks and those harmonies together in a nice way that's very musical, depending on what compressor you use,
Hmm.
especially if they're going through like a really subtle like saturation type thing, or like a tape emulator or something, where that is somehow keyed in or triggered off of the volume level it's coming into them, which generally they are. Then it's like a really sweet musical sounding like harmony blending. So there's different ways to do it, but just thinking about like you have a limited amount of space in your track. How do different instruments share the volume space and how much of it there is? And can you get them to share it like in a smart dynamic way with like compression side chaining? And then frequency space, just making sure there's no clashing. Like it's like the y-axis and the x-axis kind of.
Shit's
So
crazy.
yeah, shit is crazy, but
Yeah, I kind of like that too. I want to try that.
yeah, for sure. So anyways, I think production, I would probably give it an 86.
Damn, bro, it made me look like an asshole out here. That's crazy.
No, I think it's really impressive for what it is, and there's a couple of minor modifications to make, but it's up there for like the stuff that we hear and just out there in general. I'm sure people that discover this will be like, "Oh shit, it's
For sure.
crazy."
For sure. So what did you got for total score?
0, no.
Oh, damn,
uh,
bro. Sorry, Red Runner. Try again. All right.
um, fuck, track total for this. I think I would probably say 84.
I was gonna say 85.
Nice.
Yeah.
Making me look like the asshole.
I got to, bro. You did it to me this whole time, bro.
True.
85
So you're
between
like, I'm
green.
gonna get him. He's gonna score this one first.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I had to wait. I was gonna say 85 though. It's cool how we kind of have like a similar score.
I know.
But
It's insane.
sometimes when it gets to BC, it's like I'll, I'll go
It
pretty.
varies a little bit.
Yeah. What's up, Chalk Radden, bro? What's going on? New WIP. Yes, definitely please submit it. But thank you, Redwater. We appreciate you, as always. And bruh, that song with Reese that you guys did, or I think it's just you, Robotussin, I think is really, really awesome. So fucking catchy. And like, where'd you guys get the beat? Did you Did you like produce it or did you find like a YouTube beat? Let me know because I think that beat's fire.
They
I
just
just I
drank a
just want to like freestyle to it.
couple bottles of Robitussin and came up
Robitussin?
with it.
Nah.
Yeah.
He says we ain't drinking Robitussin.
Oh,
We be counting all that money. Yeah, come on, Josh.
sorry, I've been
Only
drinking
real listeners.
Robitussin, so
Yeah, bro. Only real listeners will know. Not just kidding. Unless I got the lyric wrong, but like, yeah. Uh, but okay. Let's do the next song, shall we? We got Mad Roads. I was about to flip off the camera. Um, DOCOF. Shouts out to you if you're in the chat. And Chakra DNB. Ah, that's what it is. Chakra DNB. Um, so
that makes
yeah,
sense.
if you guys want to skip the queue, you can. We'll go in that order because we go in the order that they're submitted. Unless
Yes.
you tip like Redwater did, and you'll be played right now. So let us know if you want to. It's $5 minimum. Otherwise, we'll go through the queue, and we should be able to get through all of you, unless mad tippers just start coming in and taking your spot, and it's happened. But yeah.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
next, what's
If
that?
anybody wants to skip the queue, so we've got Mad Roads up next. If you are Doc OF or Shock DNB and you want to skip, then let us know in the chat. The link is there to tip $5 minimum. Otherwise, you'll be after them, and we should be able to still get to you in the stream. It just probably will be like 15, 20 minutes at least.
We take pretty long on our reviews, but it's what it is.
Yes, we're thorough.
Cool. Okay. Do you want to go to the next song? Let's see.
Yep. If there's no takers, we will go to the next track.
All right, we got
Roads.
Mad Roads. Yeah, shout out to Mad Roads. Last week they were going off with the feedback in the chat. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we had tippers that skipped the line, and he kind of got pushed down and pushed out.
He was cool with it though.
Very cool with it. Like some people are not. So we shouts out to you like double time. He was such an awesome kind of friend of the stream there. But yeah. So let's see. Mad Roads, dollar get money. So finish release. Description says weird halftime thingy. So all right, I'm ready. You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, Mad Roads, dollar get money. 3, 2, 1. Automatically kind of quiet. Yeah. Whoa. It's a fat kick though. Some Kenji Burgers. Hey yo, shout out Redwater. Oh, some future bass. All right. That kick got kind of buried a little bit.
Yeah. Sounds like something's missing. Make this beat that needs to be mastered.
I like that kick sample though. Yeah, something in the mid-range. Oh, cool. I like that.
Whoa. There's the body.
Yeah. A little mid-heavy. Album art's getting even like closer and closer.
we need something cooler going on here.
Right. That little bit where it's like another focus on
Like, it's just like a vamp on the one chord.
I like that.
Some organic robot noises.
Fart noises. Maybe it's like the low mids that I'm not hearing enough of. Because when I hear that boom, I like that's when I feel like it feels like the most balanced. But like everywhere else, it seems kind of sparse,
Yeah.
lacking some body. But some good stuff to like there, some stuff to work on perhaps. Mad Roads, Dalla Dalla, Get Money. Thank you for submission and thank you for the feedback last week. It was fire. First
Mhm.
impressions, what you got, Josh?
I mean, it's weird because I know the guy knows a lot of stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he was spouting off good feedback last week, but yeah, I mean, it was just kind of shocking how like at the beginning until that drop came on, like what, a third of the way through or something, or
Yeah,
almost half.
it's quiet.
It was first of all, yeah, super quiet, which I mean, you must be able to see that in your DAW, unless like maybe at the loudest part, it's approaching like clipping, or maybe you've got something in there that is driving that dB meter to say that you're almost there, but maybe it's like not, it's too dynamic or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like quiet from the beginning. Sounds high passed. Like I'm sure you're doing filtering to try to avoid issues or whatever, or maybe it's just the sounds that you're using, the synth parts, whatever the hell it is, are not filling out that space enough.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, there's some obvious like sonic filling the space with frequencies issues. It doesn't have a lot of body until halfway through, and then even then, it's like okay, it's kind of there, but it's not really like kicking me in the head like it should
Yeah.
be. Like
Yeah.
it's like yeah, there's like
Or kicking me
somewhat
in the
of a
chest. Yeah.
yeah, there's somewhat of a bass element there, but it's probably not filling out all of the low end. It sounded like, and all of the low mids.
Right.
Um, and then after like halfway or whatever, I thought that was going to be like a short bridge, like transition section or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of went on
Yep.
in this like frankly sort of boring part that was just like
Well, it also built it up like it was going to be a drop, but it was just like more of the same stuff.
yeah, and there were like a few like small things that were like changing throughout it.
But it was in
But
the background. It's like,
yeah, those things felt like they were in the background kind of, and
yeah.
like you actually had to listen for them to notice that they were changing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that that part just wasn't as exciting as it could have been for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I mean, what the song length was 3:48. Yeah, that's like pretty long, and a section like that you could easily get rid of in terms of
Yeah.
like just arrangement stuff. Um, Especially if I'm listening that far along, I want the drops to be in a progression even crazier. That's typically what I expect. Like you go even more ambitious if we listen long enough. But it was just hit with like this interesting kind of not interesting, uninteresting part. um, yeah, I talked about it from the get go. Also, just like and Josh noticed it too, like just missing kind of the body, like low mid maybe frequencies just weren't really there at all. It was interesting when the kick first came in, it had like a full body, nice low end, but then when everything else came in, it was like muffled there. Um, and I don't know what happened on the mixing and mastering end there. Maybe you tried to do it so that you wouldn't be like peaking the meter or something, but you got to make sure that the kick does its job of kicking my chest. Especially in the genre of bass music. And same with the drop. Like I feel like the most not sharp frequency, but the frequency that cut through the most was that squelchy like bro steppy kind of
Yeah.
frequency. When yes, that's an important component, but I think the bass and bass music should overpower not overpower, but should be kind of driving the whole song, and I felt like that's not what was happening. So, um, yeah, that's just an addition to what Josh said, and this is all for vibes. Uh, so all that being said, especially that long intro, and it took a long time to get into the drop. Like, you have to be careful because, especially in this genre, like you can't like that's a skip. Like people would skip that
Yeah.
if it's in a playlist. You don't want that. Um, and I don't think there's a need to draw it out that long. So
Yeah.
overall, my vibes, I think, um, probably like 45 between green and yellow. What about you?
Yeah, score for vibes, I think would be I'd probably give it like a 35 between yellow and green.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like development to do here in terms of like making the whole song interesting, and it might require like changing sections around or like removing, adding stuff, kind of reworking it a little bit.
Yep.
Because I think I get the sense that you're knowledgeable about production stuff, and like you've got this little like video graphic here, and I know that you've put a lot of work into all this, but it's sort of like those levels, like the sort of like polishing it up stuff, like having the visual and all of that sort of goes out the window. It doesn't actually matter unless the song is interesting.
Music first.
Yeah, and so it's like it's easy to say like I'm good at these parts, or I think that I'm good at these parts, or whatever, I put more time into these parts. Um but it's like you have to zoom out and be like, is this a good song? Like,
Mm.
are people gonna listen to this over anything else? Like you're basically competing with not only other stuff that's out there and other stuff that's very similar in your genre and the algorithms which do reward volume and stuff like that, but also people's time. And it's like there's only so many hours in the day. People aren't going to listen to your song for charity,
Mm.
right? Or because it's like you have a nice.
Unless you're us,
Yeah, exactly. But like,
which we'll do it. But yeah.
but it's just, I mean, it's not to be harsh, but it's just like saying that it's really hard to get people to listen to your music,
Hmm.
and you shouldn't waste time on stuff that isn't going to make people want to listen, because it's like you need both parts, and that's why we have this whole feedback framework where it's like you need to have the vibes and the content and the production. It needs to be well, it needs to feel good, obviously that's the top thing, and then it needs to have the right like structure so it doesn't get boring, people don't click forward because like there's stats, like everybody skips songs all the time if they're not good. And it needs to also be well produced. It needs to show off the magic that you've got in the best way possible. But if the magic isn't there in the first place completely, then polishing it doesn't matter. And there's an analogy that I won't use, but you could probably imagine around
Is
polishing.
is it something about polishing a piece of shit? Is it,
No,
or what is
no,
it?
I'm not saying that.
It's something about like a shit and a diamond, or I don't
there,
know. I
there's
forget
plenty
it.
of there's plenty of analogies out in the world.
Polishing a
Um,
turd, right? Is that what it is? I don't
Possibly.
know. I don't know, man.
But no, I just mean like I don't know. I was in the second half of this. I'm like, what's the point? Like, is it like
Yeah.
to be like I make music and this section's nasty, but it's really like kind of standard?
Right.
Like, what are you making that's like different, right? And
Mm,
maybe you're learning the ropes of this stuff too, and that's
right.
expected. You start off by making stuff that sounds like what's out there, and as soon as you can prove that you can do that, then you're like, okay, like now, how do I get to the next level and like be an artist now that I have these skills? So I think
Right.
you have a lot of the skills, and you're probably at the level where you can start like focusing on the artistry part, which
Yeah.
is a good thing.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, there was some like some solid stuff that was happening. Like the first drop, I was like mildly entertained. It wasn't anything, especially in this genre. Like I don't know, you have someone like Flume, for example, who's like so ridiculously artistic and like does crazy shit with electronic feature based music that,
Yeah,
and he was doing this like a decade ago, and compare
before it was
that.
cool.
Yeah, and compare that to like what you're showing me here. Like, it sucks that I'm comparing you to this guy, but this guy 10 years ago with this genre, like he was doing backflips around stuff like this.
True.
This is, and if you're competing in a with like against like AI music or something, like an AI could pump up this stuff, like that's kind of like it's almost like royalty free music a little bit. Like I'd expect it to be kind of background music and then
Hmm.
not really like taking my attention and
Yeah.
which there's a lane for that, but Just be careful. AI can
Maybe that's
automate
what the
that
R
actually pretty
stands
quick.
for.
What was that?
Royalty free.
Royalty free? Maybe,
No,
maybe.
I'm kidding.
And
But
there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, in terms of like from an artistry standpoint, like um, I don't know if you're probably aware of Flume, but it's like yeah, like take that as for inspiration. Like go crazy with it. Like or like Skrillex, for example, like pioneering a lot of those bro steppy sounds. Well, that was back in like 10 years ago as well. Like take Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites and take like this song and like which one is more like which
exciting.
yeah, like if I were to show you those two songs back to back, right? Like which one would you guess would be 10 years older?
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
really it's an interesting point.
Yeah. So like yeah, that's kind of my addition to this. And like, we're not doing it to hate on you. Um especially because you do seem knowledgeable. And putting together the whole package with a video and a visualizer, I think is important. But like Josh says, it's always music first. So yeah. Content though, we're on here. The main melody, well, if I can even call them that, is just kind of arpeggiators and maybe like the synth stabs or swells, the jun 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 jun,
Yeah,
kind of standard in future bass. It's just like all standard and it's all kind of not pushing the genre forward or doing anything crazy or adding your kind of specific mark. Like I've heard the bro step stuff before. It's just like I want to know what is Mad Road's take on this style, and I can't pinpoint that in something like this. I didn't
yeah,
hear what's your differentiator, and um, yeah, it starts with emulation. So maybe you're just like kind of starting out, or just figuring out this genre for yourself. But yeah, I want to make it, or I want to hear what makes your song yours. So um, do you have anything to add on content?
yeah. I think like thinking about this genre, to me, there's like two primary like appeals. I think one of which is sort of like it's almost like musical gymnastics in like dubstep and like all
Hmm.
all these types of genres where it's like impressive. It's like virtuosic almost, right? It's like
Yeah.
similar to like listening to like a crazy like Jimi Hendrix solo or something where you're like, whoa, like that sound is crazy and like how did he do that?
Hmm.
Like with Skrillex at the beginning, people had never heard shit like that. And it was like, whoa, like how is he making all those sounds? These are like totally new sounds I've never heard, and they're all woven together in a super intricate routine. It really is like acrobatic. Um, and that's partly because of the times, right? Like nobody had heard that shit before, and so it was super crazy. And there's still a lot of people that are making like stuff that's pushing those boundaries, but you have to at least hit that waterline if that's what you're going for to make it sound like crazy and whoa and mind blowing.
Hmm.
But then the other side of it is like in every genre, creating good like groove, like something that people get into and want to like dance to or just like really zone into. And I think like I don't know which one you're going for, which one appeals to you more, but like with this, it sounds like you're trying to do that groove in the second half when it's just this repeating section, but it's it's hard to pinpoint why, but it wasn't really appealing to either of us as being super like grooving or interesting or like there wasn't even that sonic pleasantness or like awe that you get listening to a lot of like sounds in this genre where they're
Right.
super sharp and precise and it really feels like dynamic and like it's like you're gonna blow your ears out of your head like
Yeah, or just like a bass rhythm that we could really just kind of bob our head to. Like
yeah
there's a lot of genres that are really repetitive. Like we're gonna hear from Chakra, it looks like, but D&B drum and bass, for example. There's a lot of like cool stuff that happens with breaks and stuff, but it's very repetitive, and there's just like a nice like bass that's just like allowing you to kind of groove along with it. And I was talking about earlier, it's kind of missing here in future bass. It's like typically what I would expect is like kind of drums that are booming and kick you in the face. Melodies, I think, are supposed to be a little bit more compelling in terms of future bass. If I were to compare it to bro step, where bro step's more so like the sounds that you're using and during the drop, especially. But I just heard kind of like bro step sounds during the drop that wasn't really pushing the boundary. I've heard the sounds before. The melodies themselves were just kind of loops. I feel like, or arpeggiated loops that or chords on the stabs that weren't really doing anything crazy. um, and the drums were kind of muted. So like on all those three fronts, I was just kind of underwhelmed, you know. And then the saving grace with like future bass and bass music in general is that you can just kind of have a nice timbre balance and groove out, chill out. Maybe it doesn't need to be that deep, but that wasn't even there. So I think that's how I could summarize why uh, I was just kind of underwhelmed with the whole thing. But yeah, I think you have a solid foundation. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've heard definitely worse stuff, but I think you're at the point where, like Josh said, now you can focus on the artistry. Like, go crazy with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to hear from you. So, yeah. Uh, all that to say, we're on content still. So let's get out of here.
Wait a second.
Content.
I
What?
just thought of this. Isn't
Okay.
there, I can't remember it, but I don't know if it might be Japanese. Isn't there like a some sort of like saying or like proverb or something about like mastering the basics, like doing, I don't know where I heard this, but like doing things in the typical way first, like the by the books way, and then like what is it, like mastering it or something, and then like throwing all those rules out and doing it like your own way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's
Yeah.
like,
I don't know. Yeah. I didn't. There might be a Japanese origin, but it's yeah. It's like you can't. You have to learn the rules of music before you can like break the rules of music, right?
yeah, and it doesn't even need to be as rigid as like rules necessarily.
Right.
Like I don't really agree with the frameworks that are taught traditionally in like music education always, or like music
Mhm.
theory. Like that's kind of its own, that's not the foundation of modern music. That's the foundation of classical music, really.
Mhm.
But like understanding how to make good, traditionally good tracks in some genre that you're in
Mhm.
happens first usually, and then you're like, oh, actually, I like these two genres, or like I like this style, or there's something that I think I could do better than
Mhm.
these artists do. And then you say, fuck it, I'm gonna like forget about that stuff. I know how to make music sound good. Now I'm going to go from a basis of what I want to hear and my own weird breaking the rules thing, and then make it sound right sort of
Mhm.
after that initial creative, frameworking.
Mhm.
So yeah, just a thought. But anyways,
Yep.
did you give a score for content?
No, not yet. My score, I would say, is maybe 15% between green and yellow.
For content? Yeah, I think I can agree with that. I think it's
Yep.
it's just, and that just means that development is needed in like the song itself, the song structure and the content.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think it's a good kind of what is it skeleton of a song. But yeah, I think there's some room to play there. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
uh, production. What do you have?
Yeah, and then production again, too quiet in the beginning, no bass, some sort of filtering happening. It's
Yeah,
not hitting
drums need to hit. Yeah.
it's not hitting peak lufs or whatever, like the
Mhm.
intended streaming algorithm levels that also just sound normal to people's ears when
Yeah,
they're going
EDM
between
needs
songs.
that.
Yeah, absolutely needs that. And that also does change pretty significantly sometimes the way that the song goes through compression. There's less bit depth if your song is quieter. And so it's harder for compression algorithms to like be gentle to it. And it's also, it means that there's less bit depth that can be represented by converters and preamps for headphones and speakers and stuff. So the less volume you have, the less information essentially. So
Mhm.
that's never really a good thing either. It's a sweet spot basically.
Damn.
But yeah, so that's really, I mean, we talked about it, but that's the main stuff I've got for production. You got anything else?
No, I don't think I have anything else to add. Production score, I will say maybe 22% between green and yellow. What about you?
I think I would say, I think I'll say 15 again for this, honestly, just because I think those are really important factors.
Sure.
Some of the sounds sound fine. I don't know what they sound like originally,
Mhm.
right? But like it really needs to be standardized somewhat to like listening standards for the reasons we talked about and to be
Mhm.
fleshed out.
For
'Cause
sure, for
it needs to
sure.
sound both crisper and beefier. So it's kind
Yep.
of in that middle zone right now.
I feel it. I feel it. Overall, track total, that puts me at I'll say 25 between green and yellow. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'll say 22 and a
Sure.
half.
There you go. Being generous out here.
Yes, handing out
22.2.
those half points.
22.69. No, just
Yeah,
kidding. But
repeating.
yeah, thank you for the submission. Bad roads. We appreciate you. Sorry if we went in a little bit, but hey, we want you to grow, um, and we want to hear like what makes you you, man. We know
Yeah.
there's some interesting stuff in there. Let us know.
Hopefully
Uh,
it's helpful. We in exchange for the feedback that you gave other people last week. So
yeah, forever grateful for that. Thank you so much.
yes, hope to see you
Um,
back.
and so we got two more people. We got Doc OF and Chakra DMB. See where am I? I got lost in the sauce a little bit. Okay. And yeah, if anybody else watching wants to submit their song, you can use this feedback link here. We have an open queue. We go until 7:30, so we might be able to squeeze in one more song. Also, if you wanted to go right now, you can also use that tip link. $5 minimum. We could get you into the spot right now. Just let us know. But if we don't have any takers, we could go to the next person, which is Daco F. It's a work in progress. Um, let's see. What the fuck? How do you read that? Fortal Mig?
I
It's
don't
it's
know how
in
to pronounce
Danish.
that one.
Yeah, it's in Danish. But it's a finished release. Um, and yeah. Are you ready about to listen to this?
I believe so. Yes,
All right, hold up. It's trying to open Spotify for
I
me.
had to relog in.
Yeah, let's see. This should work. Okay, I'm ready. Fortal Mig. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
This is some Mario Kart shit, bro.
sounds very full so far. Yeah, it's a steel pan.
I love it.
Nice instrument.
Baby, fortæl mig ting, der vil lade mig blive. Lad mig blive. Tag lige
Is this
to
Danish?
sip, tag min Hennessy.
There's some out of
Tag
time
to
stuff.
sip, tag to troede, vi var noget. Troede, vi var noget. Baby, fortæl
out of
mig
time.
ting, der
Kind
vil
of a
lade
cool
mig
group.
blive. Lad mig blive. Troede, vi var noget. Troede, du var den eneste ene. Diskussioner, som vi har hele natten, sommeren, dagen. Når solen kommer op, alle de
That bass is
situationer, som
poking out a
jeg
little bit, though.
ikke vil have, nej. Jeg ved,
like the
at
vocals
alle
on
sammen
beat.
snakker, men jeg er pisse ligeglad, hvad de siger. Fucked up, baby, du kan
Like
komme min
behind.
vej, men for du kan komme min vej, hvis du vil. Du kan tage med mig nu. Vi kan tage
Yeah, they're early,
hjem
like,
til
weird.
mig. Vi kan gå sådan endnu.
I still think they're behind. He's hitting some cool like runs though. But
Nice vocal tone. Yeah, just gonna say.
yeah, he's kind of like a sway weed vocal tone.
Lad mig blive. Lad mig blive. Tag lige to sip, tag min Hennessy. Tag to sip, tag to troede, vi var noget.
There's a lot of like syllables fitting there. I don't know what it means, but it's
Baby,
like,
fortæl mig
the
ting,
phrasing.
der vil lade mig blive. Lad mig blive.
There's like overlapping vocals.
It's just out of time,
Yeah,
and that bass is fat. Yeah, comparatively.
the bass doesn't fit in to me.
Yeah,
Vil
it's
du
sticking out.
tage mig tilbage?
That was the only on-time vocal, bruh. That sounded
Saved
great.
the best for last.
Yeah, that sounded great.
Okay, that last one shouldn't have been there. I felt
Yeah,
like
yeah, I agree.
interesting.
Fortal
Huh.
Mig, dude. We got a Danish. What is it? What country is that? Fuck.
Is it Danish?
Denmark.
That would be Denmark. Yes.
Okay, it's in. I mean, he says it's in Danish, but I'm just saying, like, we're fucking Mr. Worldwide over here, bro. Like,
know.
we have a lot of
That
countries.
reach. Yeah.
Yeah, countries represented. I would have never guessed that's what like Danish sounds like. It was very kind of not reggaeton, but it felt pretty like Latin to me, or like
Yeah,
dance hall-y, but that was cool.
definitely.
But yeah, thank you, Doc OF. What do you have for first impressions and vibes, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, you've got one of the happiest countries in the world. So congrats.
Oh yeah, damn.
Yes, although it changes year to year, and I think they lost their top spot, but don't tell them. But anyways, yeah, no. I've got some Scandinavian blood as well, so dig it. But
Oh, me too.
hey, let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm like half Viking. Bam.
Wow, nice.
Norwegian.
Oh, Norway. Oh, we've got a feud on our hands.
Oh yeah. Oh, what are you like? Finland?
Swedish.
Swedish? Norway's better.
Those are the two there.
Good.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, yeah. I mean, you've got. I said like really nice vocal tone,
Mhm.
which again is awesome. That's like if you have that, you are in luck because
Yeah.
then you can do great things with it. So that's cool, and I liked a lot of your, like, runs and stuff, and, like, it sounds like you've got the energy and, like, the passion in your voice,
Yeah.
so that's cool. I liked the, like, interesting style of the track, like, the steel pan drum
Mhm.
was, like, a nice touch.
Oh, maybe
Um
that's why I thought I was, like, thinking Jamaican or
Yeah,
Caribbean or something,
could
yeah.
be. I mean, maybe the style of the vocals was sorta like that too, but it was a little bit of a reggaeton beat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a real blending of different styles, I guess, which in some sense is cool. I feel like if it's not executed super well, it can be a little confusing sometimes because 'cause you're
Yeah.
like, "What genre?" or, like, "What's this supposed to be?" Like,
Yeah.
you can have I guess my personal opinion, now that I think about it, is you can have a blending of genres, and you should. That's, like, usually very interesting, right?
Mhm.
But the most successful cases usually have one genre that's, like, the primary, sort of, like, the one that people perceive them as, and then they bring in other styles to it, versus, like, having, like, 3 separate, like, styles or genres that are all just kind of there, and they might work musically, but, like, stylistically, they sort of it's not clear, like, what you're trying to be. Like, what's your artist voice? Like,
Mhm.
is this part of your voice or style, or is it just a coincidence that you have a steel pan drum and this reggaeton beat and it's in Danish? Like, it's sort of confusing.
Yeah, that's true.
So, maybe that's part of it, but I think the bigger thing is, like, the production is confusing as well
Yeah.
because, like, there's this beat that I like the groove of a lot, but
But the
then
vocalist
your
ain't on it,
vocal
bro.
and it's
Yeah, offbeat.
for us and maybe for, like, a global market, it's even more confusing because at first we're like, "Wait, maybe because we don't understand the lyrics or whatever, it's, like, makes sense." And then you're like, "Wait, this is getting annoying because now I'm pretty sure now that it's not in time." And then you're
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, why did I even, like" I don't know, it gets aggravating almost.
Yeah. I don't know, it's even some I wish I was there in the studio for this person because sometimes it felt like if you just slided the vocal over, you probably sung it in time.
That's
But
what I'm
whoever
thinking, like, it
yeah,
seems like an editing thing maybe.
yeah, I don't know because like it seemed like you're hitting, the runs correctly and like the the rhythms correctly, but it was just like slided off. But then I felt like sometimes I heard like it slowing down during a verse and speeding up. So I don't know who to blame here, but ultimately, I guess it's to blame on the artist because you got to listen to the song before it comes out, and you got to
It's
have that
true.
ear, you know.
You gotta be able to
Um,
tell them that, like, "Hey,
what's
why
up,
does this sound
Rockleen?
weird?"
Yeah, sorry if you want to submit feedback, we got here. But yeah, man, and like that, the overall vibe I get in first impression is like as soon as I heard that, it's like amateurish right there.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's on Spotify, it doesn't mask the fact that, yeah, I think this person needs to like have like edited stuff, and I think maybe the vocal production was a little bit lacking. Um, I think the vocalists themselves, I really did like the timbre. It reminded me of like a like a what is it, Caribbean Drake beat style with a swayly voice. Like I think he was hitting notes that were really nice sounding. But yeah, it was just offbeat, and the vocal production was kind of whack. And then the uh the some of the notes, or it's not the notes, excuse me, some of the instruments like the bass was just like way too loud and stuck out completely different compared to the other instruments. So all of that, like my first impressions and vibes was like not professional. So that kind of takes the score down a lot because it's hard to enjoy a song where the singer is like offbeat. So for me, I think my vibes is like 5% between green and yellow. They're pretty much developed. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I agree with all of that.
Mhm,
Yeah, I think we could probably give scores on vibes.
mhm.
Um, I think I would say, mm, probably 20% between yellow and green.
Yeah, I said 5.
Yeah, I mean, I like your energy, like, as a vocalist and
I do too. Yeah,
your
that's true.
tone, and I do like that you're blending styles and stuff. I think it's just confusing because of the factors we talked about.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that for me it was just straight up like gotta have it on beat. It to me it's like automatically like straight up like yellow, if not more orange. Like you gotta have it in the beat. But
yeah.
anyways, content. What do you got?
Yeah, then for content, I mean, this is similar, but I think it feels a little like a demo to me, and it
Yeah.
might be because it's a little bit amateurish right now as it is, and
Mhm.
also just because it feels like it has a hook that happens
Mhm.
twice, I think,
Mhm.
and there's stuff in between it, and then it ends. And if I don't know, to me, it's like a nice little like window into like your style or a song, but it doesn't like when it ended. I was like, yeah, that's cool, but it felt like a proof of
And
concept more than like a full song.
yeah, or like an interlude.
Yeah, like there could have been some sort of interlude section in there in between stuff. Like you could have
Oh, I felt like a
had.
whole song felt like an
Oh, it
interlude.
felt like an interlude. Well, you could have had something like a interlude or an extra section and just
Right.
added an extra hook to the end.
Mhm.
Probably for this kind of thing, and it would feel like more rounded out, and you would really cement the hook in into people's ears like an earworm. But yeah. Oh, cool. Thanks for sending the form,
Mhm.
Rocklium.
No, you're
But
good.
yeah, I think
The
it's a good
formulary.
start. It's a good start. There's some good elements here, but it feels like it needs to be fleshed out more. And I think that, I don't know. The thing I can't look past is just the fact that the vocals are not in time with the beat. It's like I don't even know what it's supposed to be if it's not like that.
Bruh, yeah. I listened back and like, yeah, your vocal tone sounds really good. Like Doc OF, like you do sound really good. Um, Not knocking you as a vocalist, unless you're singing offbeat always. Then, if that's the case, you got to fix your shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in French. I hope it's not a problem. No, not at all. We just listened to a Danish song. I did not understand one word. I don't
Hmm.
think I heard Fortal Mig in the song, but maybe
I
it's
thought I
just.
heard it at the beginning,
Oh yeah,
maybe part of it. I don't know.
I see. I see. Um, yeah. So yeah, I really do like his vocal tone actually, and like I do like the steel. What did you call it? Steel pans.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. It's just, yeah, some stuff were sticking out, and the biggest thing that was sticking out was the main vocal, which, bruh, that's what we listen to. That's what we
yeah,
listen for. So, um, yeah, I agree. The content, it sounded kind of felt like an interlude. There wasn't anything that like a huge drastic progression throughout the song, which is okay. But um, yeah, the offbeatness makes it unlistenable. So, content, I think just I wish you could just slide it around, bro. Maybe. I mean, if we include takes here, you got to retake it. I think it's
yeah,
if I'm doing that, then it's like 50% between red and yellow. Like you need to retake that vocal.
yeah,
Period.
yeah. That makes sense to me too. I think I'd say
Yeah.
the same.
Production.
Yeah. And then production, like it's not bad. It did feel more full bodied than the last one we heard. I felt like,
Yeah.
uh, and that was great. It felt maybe slightly muddy a little bit,
Yeah.
like in the low mids, a little bit of build up
A little
there,
dark. Yeah.
and yeah,
The
a little
vocals I
dark.
felt was a little dark too. There wasn't a lot of timbre or sparkle.
I don't think they didn't sound like there's enough compression, maybe, or maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
boosting of
I
the.
I agree. There's actually some parts where I could feel like either the singer went away from the mic or it just got really quiet.
It
Like
could have even been that, like,
you
they
don't
were
want that.
mixed to, like, not make them too loud in certain parts,
Mhm.
but not enough like, probably what was needed here, because 'cause you're belting at some points, is a little bit of volume automation and especially some compression.
Yeah.
And it's usually a good idea to, like, do the volume automation first to sort of even things out a little bit, and there's, like, a Waves plugin called Vocal Rider that, like, will do that somewhat automatically, and it's pretty good.
Fire.
Um, and then so that just like evens out your volume but doesn't affect your dynamics. And then you can put a compressor on it, won't have to be as aggressive to make it sound, more full bodied and just more produced. It'll just sound better. So yeah, I think that's my main tips. It's not like it's a complex track, which I actually appreciate. I just think it hasn't gone through like a full production routine or cycle. It feels like it needs a little bit of work to get there to feeling fully produced. But yeah, I think score wise for me, production probably would be. Let me see. Uh, I would say like just develop, straight ahead develop. I think it's on the way there. It's not like it's terrible, but it needs to be developed into being fully produced. Pretty much. It feels like there are parts that are kind of unaddressed right now.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with everything that Josh said. We talked about that bass that stuck out too. I think it stuck out in the fact that it was one too loud, and then I think for a bass it was just very high, mid, heavy, and it was kind of weird. Like in a song where this is like I feel like it's in the club, at a nighttime, on the beach somewhere where you wouldn't expect like a big farty bass to hop into the party. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I can match that score. Yellow for production. Overall for me, uh, I'll put 75 between red and yellow. Just like, bro, like that vocal, you really need to fix, like straight up.
Yeah. Maybe it's an easy fix. Somebody could have just misaligned something.
Yeah,
But I think I'm just gonna say straight ahead develop, because I
yeah,
think there are like some key elements here, like your vocal and your like passion, which I can hear,
yeah,
and interesting blending of styles and stuff that are great. It's just like packaging it all together and being scrutinizing if it sounds good and like that things are done right, because it's not really worth like it's not worth not doing that, right? Because there's no point in putting stuff out there that's like obviously has
yeah.
issues.
Well, it's kind of frustrating because you have a good voice,
Yeah.
and like the melodies that you do is really cool, and like the product or the beat I think is cool.
Yeah, the elements are
It,
good.
it's like literally
It's the way they're put together.
why is the main part out of time?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, maybe I'm a little harsh, but honestly, like, bruh, like, you're just make those small changes and like it's exponentially better. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it'll make a huge difference. Like, yeah, massive.
so but yeah, thanks for the submission, Doc OF. Yeah, I really do like your voice, really Sway Lee-ish. But hey man, we appreciate the submission.
Yep. So we got 2 left. Let's try to do them each in under 15 minutes, so we'll have to keep it a little bit concise.
Yo,
But oh, wow, I've never been to this website.
speed round, Audio
Um,
Mac.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Dude.
Let's see. Chakra DMB. Shout out Chakra if you're still in the chat. Work in progress, never. No description. Let us know if you want to listen anything specifically, Chakra, and your thoughts in the chat. We always love doing that. Here,
Mhm.
fire.
Present.
Present, but yeah. Did you want to shout out the beta before we do it?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. So we're given feedback here, as you see, in a very detailed and hopefully constructive manner, so that ultimately you can make the best music possible. And this isn't the only thing that we're doing. We are
Oh,
building, as part of FastTrack, a web platform. That's right, a full ass web platform that you can join. There's a lot of ways to think about it. You can think about it sort of like a social network for musicians, sort of like a LinkedIn for musicians, but also like this, what we do here, feedback, but from other people that are smarter than us, probably in the
yeah.
music industry, and in a way that you can save and review later and collaborate with other people on. So you know exactly how to improve your music and create a process to create awesome music that your fans will love. So
Yeet.
that's what we're building. A whole lot of tools that are encapsulated in that will be coming out. But super exciting. If you want to join the beta of the platform, so be one of the first users in there and try it out, request features, spot bugs and stuff like that,
Hmm.
then join the beta. The link is in the chat. It's fasttrack.studio. And yeah, there's just like 2 little questions about who you are. Sign up there and we'll let you know when you get in. But yeah, we're super excited about that. So
Fire.
let us know if you want to get in
Yeah.
there.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Josh. All
Yes.
right. You ready for this next song?
Yeah, let's do it.
Audio Mac. Hold on. I'm not ready. What is this website? Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Another platform, huh?
Gotta love it. All right. Chakra DMB. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Oh. Energy in here.
It's a really fat bass.
Yeah, very.
I'm hearing a little bit of clickiness. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's that sound. There's a click on the top of it that's really
Yeah. It doesn't need to be there. Okay, that's it. high pass filter is kind of
I
ridiculous.
wish I could hear what that guy's saying. Reverb. Uh-oh.
Bring that in sooner, bro. Bring that in sooner. I think the vocal thing I said.
Eerie. It feels a little bit low pass.
Yeah, I could. Adds here. That's a high pass. Yeah, I could groove out to this.
Vocal's a lot louder here. What's going on with the vocal volume? Kinda like up and down.
I like the drum.
Oh, that's cool.
I think there's a lot of equalizing.
Some of the volume levels are just being written by hand almost.
Hold on, I can't hear John. Sorry.
Yeah, what the fuck is, dude? What the fuck is going on with those volume levels?
For the vocals?
It's kind of pissing me off. No, for like other instruments like that do
Yeah.
like synth thing at the end was like clearly going like do and then like back down,
Yeah.
and it just felt like somebody's like riding the faders like manually but like not subtly.
Yeah.
And same with like in the middle section there, like the vocal was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It was like getting like louder and then quieter. It was like, what's the point?
Yeah. It's like a DJ that doesn't know how to DJ.
Yeah, that was like that pissed me off because it kept happening, and I was like, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Sorry, Chakra, but like, okay, so that was one thing that I heard. There's a lot of like, I love the kick and the snare and like the main section are like crispy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was all cool. And then it was like eerie at first, like the 1/3 way here, quarter, when like
Yeah,
that
that
vocal
intro
came
shit
in.
way too long though.
Intro too long, and the last section too long.
Mhm.
Like it was just repeating the same thing, and it was like, why are we still repeating this sort of? I also sort of think, and like, no offense if it's you singing it, but like that vocal part was not strong enough to be repeated through the whole song, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could have just gotten a sample off of Splice or something that was like more complex maybe, or more like appealing, or
Yeah.
shiny, but it didn't necessarily sound like it was completely on pitch maybe, or it was like a pro vocal performance. It was just kind of like somebody reading a line
Mhm.
almost. And I know that it's like the repetition is maybe a part of the genre, sort of,
Yeah. But I
maybe.
mean it's I think it's the least compelling part of the track too.
Yeah, and it's the most apparent, right?
Sometimes it's the loudest too, yeah.
It's either the loudest or it's in the background, and you're still your ear is trying to discern, do I like this part or not?
Yeah.
And then eventually you're like, I don't really want to listen to this over and over.
Nope.
So it's like, yeah, those are the feedback parts. I mean, that's the point of getting feedback, right? Because other listeners are going to probably think similar things.
Mm.
But I think so. You're saying intro too long, more elements in the intro, less of vocal. Yeah, that's my
Some
top
of it.
level thoughts.
Yeah.
There's probably some
Dude, 'cause
nuance we can get to with
I gotta
production.
say, like, the groove, the main groove, the D&B groove with the drums and the
Yeah, the
bass,
drums are
the meat and potatoes, I think, are there.
yeah,
Well, let's
the
see.
meat.
The meat, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's say the meat's there. Like, you saw me grooving out. Like, that's what to me D&B is like, oh, just like
It
grooving
was
out. You know,
grooving, yeah, for sure.
I could do that, but the vocal is like, get out of here, get out of here. It's I don't want this. And you have some brass that kind of, uh, you know, kind of fills out the high end a little bit, but not really. There's like a region in like the high mids or where I'd expect some sort of melody where maybe a vocal to be, but the vocal just wasn't cutting it. It was kind of staying low and honestly almost near the bass, the way that you kind of didn't EQ it at all. Like that's why I was like, oh, you should high pass this vocal or like just fill in that other area, uh, with something melodic, something to carry us through the song. um, that bass is and the drums is the foundation, and that's what we want to groove to. But you can have something that could carry us through the song, um, and present something different. I was thinking like, it's not necessarily the same style, but like Pendulum, for example, like where they put in like strings or pads, or have a singer that goes higher. Um, I think is always like a nice, enjoyable listen. I think it could balance out your track uh, in terms of frequency spectrum as well. But yeah. Um, Anywho, what do you have? Anything else for vibes?
No, just in the interest of keeping it concise, I think
Oh
that's
shit! Yeah, we're supposed to keep this concise. My bad.
the main things I thought of. But like, yeah, for vibes, I think I would probably say for me it's 20% between develop and good to go. Just
I'll
because it's
say
like,
I
what
really
was it?
like the groove. I think it grooves really well.
What
Yeah,
was your score?
40 between
40.
green and yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like
Oh,
the groove too. I just think for me it was like the length and then the sort of the weird volume stuff that was like very distracting to me at least.
yeah.
And the vocal was like made me want to turn it off a little bit.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't there, if those elements weren't there, I'd want to keep listening because it was a
Yeah.
really good groove.
Yeah, exactly. We can get maybe it'll go towards the production stuff, but there's just like a weird kind of unnatural riding of the fader too for that very long intro. Like you were doing a high pass and just kind of like scooping it up, making it more and more um, high pass, taking the low end off, and it was just doing it so slow that I was like, all right, man, like this is enough. Like it doesn't have to be
Definitely.
that drawn out, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, content. We talked a lot about the vocals and stuff. How it's missing, also the high mid. Do you have anything else? The groove was good. Drums were good.
Yeah, for content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I already said the stuff there pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you have a score?
Uh, Content. Yeah, groove was pretty good. Good, nice meat. Needs potatoes. Needs salad. Whatever. Kind of the lighter stuff.
Need some steak sauce.
Um, yeah, needs some pizzazz for sure. I would say maybe 33% between green and yellow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could agree with that.
Production.
And then yeah, production on the like the fader piece or the high low pass. Yeah, it sort of even when things came in, it felt like the synthy parts they're supposed to be really like exciting and bright and kind of crisp were still not shining through because they were filtered. So there was like a good like the bass and the drums were like those were good, but the interesting like harmonic, chordal, melodic synth stuff was like blanketed. It felt like a little bit still. So I would
Mm.
just like you have to be able to do both. So like you're creating contrast, right? That's the idea. And so if you have this contrast at the beginning where it's there's a filter and then it comes off and there's a dramatic point when it comes off, that's contrast and that's generally cool and people like that, it's impressive. And then the parts where things aren't meant to be filtered very obviously need to be super high fidelity and crisp, and there's the middle ground doesn't work because everything is based in perspective and like these things need to be good relative to each other or obvious intentional relative to each other. So that's kind of like make the low pass parts obvious and make the high fidelity crispy parts obvious, but don't be in that middle ground basically.
Yeah.
As much as you can avoid it without it sounding bad. Then as far as the intro, the long thing, I sort of know like the appeal of, I want to like really build the suspense and then like give them a payoff and whatever. And it's a cool payoff, but you have to first and foremost be like respectful of your listeners' time sort of. And just think about like, is anybody actually going to want to like sit here and listen to this? Or how likely, thinking about somebody's daily routine scenario, like listening to music, are they going to want to just sit here and wait for your intro? Right? Because they don't know what's coming. And honestly, does
It's
the
a damn
payoff
shame too, because the groove was good, but I wouldn't have sat through it.
it's about like, does the payoff justify that long ass intro for other people, and are they going to wait for it? And it's sort of, you have to think more about like the are they going to wait for it part, and say, I'm going to push it just as much as I can to where they're like probably going to wait for it and make the intro interesting, so that then it's a payoff, but not thinking I'm going to hold off for as long as possible so the payoff is bigger, because that's not true. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, just like being respectful and thinking about your listeners' perspective and their time, I think is the key part here for not making stuff go on too long. But we're in production. That's pretty much what I had. Do you have anything else?
We talked about it a little bit too. I just want to reemphasize like weird just behavior with riding the vocal, or
Yeah.
excuse me, riding the volume knobs for specific things. Like I think generally you kind of want volume to be, at least perceived volume of certain instruments, to be pretty much consistent. Like they wouldn't be jumping around as much as they were. Like why is the vocal like very loud now and then very quiet? Why is the stabs like very loud and then very quiet? Like
It has to have logic and reason to it, or some
yeah,
dramatic reason.
why is the high pass filter like have a 64 measure decrescendo or whatever? It's like
Yeah.
this is weird. Like like I said, it sounds like a DJ that doesn't know how to DJ, and it's just like churning knobs, like but they're not like the exciting knobs. So it's just interesting. But
True.
yeah, production for me, I'll say like 33 between green and yellow. I think the groove is mixed pretty well, but yeah, there's a lot other stuff to develop.
I think I'll say 25 between develop and good to go. Yeah.
Puts me overall, I'll say 35.
And I'll say
Between
29 between yellow
There
and
you go.
green.
Cool. Sorry, we have to be a little bit quick, Chakra, but we got one
Yes.
more song.
Well,
We got 9 minutes.
quick for us.
Yeah, I guess we're pretty long. Yeah.
Yes.
I would also play with the idea, in terms of long intros. Like, there's some DMB songs, especially because if people are DJing it, like they need to like have like house songs, for example. They have like a pretty long beginning that has the beat that you could like switch the songs into. Like, why not do that with drum and bass? I've heard that with many drum and bass songs where they put like the hard ass breaks that you have in that nice groove. Like put like a 10-second version of that in the beginning. Like then it's like, oh, I know where it's gonna go. This is gonna be sick. I love this groove, and then you could build suspense. Like just a thought. But anyways,
Yeah, definitely.
Or else I would have never listened to that all the way through. Like, and I like the groove. So you're pushing away your own fans.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways.
Okay, next one.
Yep, and last song.
Yes. And thanks for submitting. We appreciate it. And
Yes,
hopefully
we
it's helpful.
appreciate you. Rock
Even
Queen, let's
if it's
go.
harsh.
Yep. Yes, thank you, Chakra. We appreciate you. Spiritisma, Sao de Lange. I'm only harsh because, bro, I like the groove. Like, get me to the groove faster. I think this is a friend. Yeah, so a song that a friend of mine made. He's rapping since a long time. Really puts his life into music.
Sweet.
Fire. Okay, what a good friend.
Yeah. Cool to hear.
Yeah, shout out to you. You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Spiritisma. 3, 2, 1. Wow.
Ooh. Drone shot.
Love it.
J'ai peur du jour où mes liens crament, rêve du Portugal, d'endroits où y a rien de crade. Je veux une maison au bord du lac, je veux ma maison sur Lane Crade.
It's a lot of mouth noises.
Et demain, je me réveillerai dans le même drap.
Like French.
J'écris des
It's very
chansons
close.
et j'oublie pas que je suis chanceux, même si je porte en moi la tristesse des gens seuls.
Beautiful
J'ai peur
shot.
qu'elle s'abatte, plane comme épée de Damoclès. Si je suis comme Dabo clair de la lune, près de la dune avec la dalle au klebs. C'est ma plume qui m'amuse, qui me calme. Ce sera la même jusqu'à la kill cam. Je regarde dans les yeux pour capter les âmes et songe à écarter les armes. Besoin de renouveau comme peau du lézard, d'un exutoire. Des fois je sais pas ce que je fais. Sous le soleil de ma lampe, c'est lune noire sur table de chevet. Des fois je sais pas ce que je fais.
Whoa. Whoa, what?
Something's gonna happen. Here we go.
Puisque guidé par ce qui manque, genre tous les joyaux du joaillier. Tant pis je grandis, l'envie je brandis. Le rap c'est mon noyau, la joie y est. Mais dans ma tête souvent je vois hier. J'en ai des faux mais je vois mes jambes vriller. Je veux juste rouler ma bosse sans voir mes jambes briller. Laisser les angoisses, marquer les yeux des gens que je croise. Et j'ai toujours l'impression qu'ils sont méchants je crois. Mais je serais quoi sans eux, je ferais pas le bien sans eux. Et des fois trop être dans ma tête, ben ça me frustre. Est-ce que je suis spécial? Oh. J'en sais rien mais dans mon buste y'a cette lumière, ça fait des lustres.
Love those pitched up guitars.
Un visa, niquer la vissade près de Missane. Faut que je planche avec dévotion. Je me prends l'émotion que la prod lance. Lien c'est v'là du fiable avec mon clan matriade. J'espère être dans un god plan. Rendre fier ma matriarche, lui cope du Prada du diable. Se met là dans les bras du diable, ben je fais un saut de l'ange. Rendre fier ma matriarche, lui cope du Prada du diable. Se met là dans les bras du diable, ben je fais un saut de l'ange. Dans un brasier, je vois le ciel s'embraser, les couleurs s'embrasser. Je pense aux bras de ceux que j'aime, leur dire gratier. Soigner mes douleurs, s'embrasser, ni qu'un gratte-ciel. Moi je veux un pied à terre sur les étoiles, sans te laisser toi vous. Je ressens la chaleur de mon entourage qui me pousse. Si je suis dans la brousse, je leur offre ces poèmes. C'est ce que j'ai de beau en moi, mon âme bohémienne quand ma bohémienne. Et que mes bros me renvoient tout le love que je leur attribue. C'est ma tribu, jamais scindé en indigène. Y'a rien qui gêne, c'est ça qui tue. Je m'en bats d'un putain de seigneur ou d'une insigne, j'ai trop saigné. Je veux juste être un humain meilleur. Je relis 40 fois les accords Toltec, la corde m'observe. Si gueule de bois d'une soirée où l'alcool prospère. J'écris mieux sous fatigue, la fragile près de mes peurs que ma prospère. Qu'est-ce qu'elle les assagit? Sinon je marche, goudron sous mes baskets, près de ma basse-cour, un peu sectaire comme un basque. Mais faut que je parte, parce que c'est chaque jour à l'aube du dernier crépuscule. La if très vite elle bascule.
Dude, I want more of that glitch stuff, bruh.
I know.
Like,
really makes the vibe.
I wanted it to be even more extreme, but I loved it. I appreciate the progression so much.
Cool shot.
Come on, bro. You've been teasing that the whole time, dude. That thing needed to explode.
That was awesome.
I want you to push it even further, but yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wonder. I'm just trying to think. It could go either way. Thinking about like, would I have stayed to listen through to that?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think probably.
I think the intro. I call it an intro. It's too long.
Yeah, I could agree with that though.
Like it went a completely different direction. Maybe drop in those glitchiness a little bit, because like that you saw me like sit up. I was like, oh shit, now I can like listen. Like this is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
You know. Get that part sooner, man. You don't have to like give it all up right in the beginning, but like, yeah, like I thought it went a completely different route than I thought it was gonna be. And
Yeah.
I didn't understand one fucking word, but like I was able to like follow the vibe of like the cool progression and the instrumentation and like his delivery as well as the video. Like the energy obviously changed, and yeah, like that's cool, man. Just goes to show like music is kind of universal.
Yeah, really. I think on the glitchiness part, I love it. It really adds to the vibe, and like that with the production style and just the artistry, and like this is one of the rare cases that I've seen here where the video really adds to it a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's if you're able to do that and it's good, that can really make or break an artist. Because like
Mhm.
watching this and having the music together be good, like when you have these synergies between multiple parts being good at the same time, it like multiplies. And that's maybe that's like part of the formula sort of like becoming a really great artist and getting popular is like if you're doing a lot of things right, they don't only add together, they actually multiply.
Mhm.
And this like I'll this is very memorable. I will, not forget this one afterwards because it did those things right and they multiplied and it was great.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is awesome. This is
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Just to add to the kind of criticism at the beginning, like I just thought it was gonna go like be very kind of melodramatic and bland.
Yeah.
But no, that like that uniqueness of that glitchiness and that weird percussion in the middle.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
I'm used to like hyperpop where they're going to be like they just push it to the fucking limit, and like he didn't push it to the limit, I would say, but like he upped the energy, and
yeah.
yeah, I thought that was yeah, it made me stay. So
I was
that's
gonna
cool.
say, like, when the glitchiness comes in, that sort of starts the clock in my mind of the listener then building suspense because they know that something is, like,
Yeah,
bubbling in the background. Before that, it's like it really is, like, this could just be any other sort of melodramatic, like, maybe
yeah,
somewhat amateur-ish song, and the only reason I say that is because the one important, I think, production improvement is immediately and in the quieter parts of the track where the music is quieter, the vocals a little too loud.
yeah,
So, like, right at the beginning especially, it's like it's a little jarring, it's very obvious that it's too present, and it could partly be that it's recorded too close to the mic.
yeah. Also, like French, the language is like
Yeah, I was thinking, I wonder there's a lot of, like, that sound, right? And you don't hear that in most, if any, like, Americanized English
right.
music, and I wonder if there are mixing tricks, like, in French in France or whatever, or I guess Canada, for, like, making that still come across pleasant because it probably has some, like, acoustic properties that, like, really make it heard in the microphone.
Yeah,
So, that's, I think, something that most listeners would probably find a little, like, off-putting at certain points.
yeah. Especially when the vocal is loud, right? So
And
it's
yeah,
like
it's just
not
it's
always the
mixing
vocal
wise.
loud, but the it's like
I
you
don't
need a de-esser
I will
instead of
say,
like
like
a de-esser, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
A
I've
de-esser.
yes, and I've heard some of that, like, I've heard other genres or languages of music that have that syllable,
Mhm.
and sometimes it sounds okay. It's always a little bit like, "Oh, like, that's interesting because you don't hear it often in music, but it doesn't need to be so present. I think there's ways to tone it down a little bit.
Thanks, guys. He's really gonna be happy. He should be. That was really cool.
Yeah, no, you should be.
Yeah.
But do you wanna give a score for vibes?
Yeah, vibes, I have, I think 80 between green and yellow. 85.
I'm gonna say 88. I
There you
mean,
go.
I thought the
88
vibes
rising.
or maybe even 90. I thought the vibes were pretty magic about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was
Um,
cool.
yeah.
Content?
And then, yeah, content, I mean, again, we talked about it, but maybe the intro could be shortened a little bit.
Mhm.
It's pretty dramatic, but it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds, which is pretty long,
Mhm.
especially for a song that, like, it's not like it's a multi-part song, right? Like, it has sections, but it's not like a rock opera. I don't think above for almost 4.5 minutes is necessarily justified or needed. Um,
Yeah.
and
I
I'm
think you take 20 seconds out of the intro, really.
yeah, yeah, totally. I think, like, I like the video a lot,
Yeah, the
but I
videos.
don't I think it's beautiful, and also seeing the artist and having a like, you can see that he's a genuine artist, right? And it goes well with the music. There's some cool effects, really cool effects in there that go well with it, but I don't know if it tells a lot of, like, a story that's
Yeah.
clear from the video, and that's another reason maybe to make it a little bit shorter, and you probably could make a cut of something like this that's shorter, video and audio-wise. So that's a tip for content. Do you have anything else for that?
I agree. Yeah, I did say like, oh, you could tell the energy is changing and it's shown in the video with the shaky camera and he's running and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like the story itself, it felt kind of empty. Like it still had some of that like, oh, this is just kind of generic melodrama. I'm running in a field and I'm like,
And we're not able to assess the lyrics, which is
yeah,
important. You have to consider also that, like, it most pop music, caters to a global audience, so it's like you sort of have to take into account what non-French speakers are going to perceive it as if you want them to be your audience, I guess. And like with this, telling the story in other ways is really important. And you do that through some of the sound design and the vibes and all that. But I do wonder, like, it could be that the content actually kind of makes sense with the video. Like maybe it's something about being in your head or something, or like who knows, like making it as an artist. Like there's a lot of things I could see fitting into this sort of solo video where it's about just the person themselves.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's the case. So it's a little bit of a, an open item there.
Yep.
But content scores,
Probably 84 between green and yellow.
I think I'm going to say 75,
Sure.
maybe even 80, 75 to 80 because of the length part with like listener retention, and maybe it's partly a delivery thing, but maybe more mixing with the
Yeah.
a little bit. It's probably more mixing, but
Need that D. Yes, sir.
and
Yeah.
then the story. So
Yeah.
yes, and then production. Like I think, it sounds very professionally produced and looks professionally produced.
Yeah.
There were a couple points at the end when I was considering in the big energy section. Does it feel big enough? Like
Yep.
is it too minimal?
That's why I
Um,
wanted it to be pushed harder.
yeah, like can you push it harder, like with like some saturation or light distortion to like really make it sound extreme, sort of?
And have the vocalist like scream or something, you know?
Yeah, or some more energy in that regard, maybe. Um, that was one thing that I felt like it feels more avant-garde, or which that's French, isn't it?
Hmm.
Or like it doesn't feel as mainstream because that section is a little bit more toned down and subtle. It feels almost like indie or like Pulp Fiction, like that sort of genre where it's not meant to be mainstream, and that's cool. A lot of people are into that, but I don't know if that's what you're going for. So that's just a tip there. And then also, I sense that the vocal is the right volume in the chorus and loud sections, but it's not being automated enough or drawn in enough in the quieter sections, so it's too loud there. And so that's just a basic like production mixing tip.
Mm-hmm.
But you got anything else?
Nah, I don't think so. Not for production. I think I'm at 85 between green and yellow.
Yeah, no, I think I could agree with that. Maybe even
Which
86.
there you go.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's a question of, do you want it to be more on the subtle side or more on the like broad appeal side, kind of
Mhm.
across this track, I think, actually.
Yeah, bruh. I wanted to push it. I feel like that glitchiness was just it was teasing till the end.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
felt
yeah.
like I never got to. I don't want to say climax, but I never.
The payoff, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's telling you there's going to be something that's going to go wrong, or something that's in a good way. It's going to happen.
Yeah, like there's like some unhinged breakdown that this guy's gonna have, you know?
Yeah, and we wanted that breakdown.
That's what I wanted, yeah. But it didn't really get there. But that's all to say, like, you know, I was happy that I got to watch this and listen to it. I think it was cool. So I think overall I'm at 85 between green and yellow.
Yeah, I
Kind
think
of the average of my scores, actually.
I'm gonna say 88 between yellow and green. It's really impressive. It does have some of that like magic factor,
Mhm.
and there's just a few things to make it really clear, like the story and like what it's about, what it's going for. We're getting like a sense that it's like a genuine artist behind it and everything, but it sort of needs to be a little bit more apparent, like a little more made obvious, like who he is, what his
What's the
message
story? Yeah.
is, what's the story, and like who are you appealing to, sort of. But it's a really great start, and it's like feels like an artist that could like come up if you really work hard and do things right.
Yep. Shouts out to you. And shouts out to your friend.
Yep, indeed.
But
Cool. All
yeah,
right.
that's
Well,
it.
yeah, thanks for submitting. And that's our show. We're a little bit over time, but again, we're
Bet.
here just about every Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 Central Time. We give as detailed feedback as we can give, as you can see, to help you make the best music possible. We're also building a platform, a web platform to help you do this and get feedback regularly from industry professionals within just a couple days, that you can reference and with timestamp comments, stuff like that. That should be really useful, and also some other music productivity and networking collaboration features in that platform to make music better and easier. So that's fasttrack.studio. The link is in the chat there. You can go and sign up for our beta and be one of our early users. Get in first and have some perks. And yeah, we're super excited about that. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram, FastTrack_music. That's kind of our home base. Follow us on Twitch here so you get notified when we go live again. And also join our Discord, which people seem to join just about every week these days. So that link is in the chat as well. You got anything else, Chris?
No, I do not. Tell your friend to submit more music. We like it.
Yes, please do.
And
Tell your friends, tell anyone you know that makes music to submit here. We'd love to hear it.
yeah, tell his friends too.
Yeah, and their friends.
Yeah, all of them, all friends here.
Yes. We
Oh
all are.
man, I think I'm good, man. I need to eat. I could feel it.
Yes. Let's get some grub and
Yeah, I gotta get some grub.
hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see you again soon. Looking
All
forward
right,
to it.
peace, y'all. Peace, peace.
Peace.